We can call the meeting to order at 10:30. Review of the agenda and addendum. We good with it?
No.
Oh,
So no, sorry, I'm too early. Ignore that.
okay. So we can have a mover and a seconder. Be resolved that corporate services accept the agenda as presented. Moved by Steve, seconded by Sally.
Yes. Sorry, it was on mute. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, she called me, but my phone doesn't even work from in here, so. Okay, any declaration of conflict of interest? No, no, okay. An adoption of the previous minutes. Stephen?
Yeah, thanks. Just noted that at the header, it says that we conducted a meeting by Zoom, but we were in person. And you might want to note that I arrived a little bit late. I think I came in, you were already talking about the disconnecting from work policy when I wandered in.
Right.
I don't know, it was
That's correct.
10:33, 10:34, something like that. I like to be transparent about my tardiness, right?
Yeah, I did note that as well. I forgot that we were in person though. So we got that then. So we can say we can be it resolved that corporate services adopt the minutes as amended then. Are we good with that? For the March 28th, 22 meeting, and moved by Stephen and seconded by Sally?
Sure.
Good with that? All right. Any business arising from the minutes? No. I see Stephen shaking his head. Nothing from Sally?
No.
No.
Okay, no public presentations, so 7 to administrative reports. And we have social media policy. I'll let Kitty speak to it.
So this policy will be our guideline of how we deal with our Facebook and our Instagram. It sets out some boundaries as well for the public as well, noting that we won't be able to answer on weekends or after hours, that we have some time to get back to them. So it's not an immediate, which does help out with some of the concerns that we had about someone always watching it over the weekend. We would still monitor it, but it wouldn't be as structured as we would have to if it was having to be monitored all the time. This is a general policy that we've, kind of taken from a few different municipalities out there. So we've incorporated what works for the municipality. So we're open to any feedback or changes that the committee wishes to look at.
I have a couple of questions related to the policy. Through you, Madam Chair, my question is related to the election. It talks about during an election year that candidates should not be on social media under the town. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes. Because as soon as you file your nomination papers, you're not permitted to use municipal resources. So
we shouldn't even say like or anything like that, right? Is that right?
Like if you were to like a post?
Yeah, say a lot of times I will acknowledge that I've seen the post by just clicking the like button, but I'm wondering if, after your declared candidacy, would that be okay or not okay?
Good question.
That is a good question. I would say to be safe, I wouldn't. But then there are times when we do want it to be shared. So
I know that's where I was caught, and I thought, geez, I better ask about this. And the other part of it is that for new candidates, would this be given out to them, as part of their candidates package, so that they are aware that they are not to make comments on the town's Facebook page or whatever, or Instagram?
I'm thinking, and I will get this confirmed, but my initial thoughts on this are that if you liked a post, it's really not utilizing the municipal resources. It would be where you're, maybe promoting something that you've passed at council, new policy or commenting there and making it a platform as part of your election campaign. But if you're liking Earth Day, I don't really see how that's
No,
utilizing municipal resources. So let me get clarification on that.
okay,
And
okay, and Instagram as well.
yeah, I just wouldn't be writing comments on there. Like, I think
Yeah.
if you're just gonna put that you
Mhm.
like Earth Day, you like the general things that are
Right.
up there that anybody could say that they like, but where it's actually gonna promote, like, for example, the information night in July. I wouldn't be commenting too much on there, and that's why my recommendation with that night is to keep it more third party rather than what council has accomplished in this term, because it potentially could be seen as council campaigning and using that night as a platform to promote what they've done throughout the term.
Right,
Okay.
okay.
Stephen?
Yep.
Thanks, Chair Summers. So we're talking about liking posts on the town website, correct?
Correct.
Right. But if we're using our own personal Facebook, like we can like I can still wish people happy birthday, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
There's a difference between the two. And
There's a
maybe,
difference. Yeah.
and I think maybe potential candidates should be made aware that if they want to use the social media, they have to have their own personal page to do that.
Yes, and that we have a whole package put together
Okay.
for the candidates that will
Right.
have all of these things spelled out for them.
Okay. Okay, go ahead, Stephen.
Thank you, Chair Summers. I just noted when I read through, I'll find it. Page 3, very first line, page 3. It's the same problem, like a couple of words running together.
Yeah, we
Or
did see that
committee.
again. So yeah, we'll make sure
And,
that is corrected.
Page, okay, and I think on 4, maintenance. Number 1, maintenance, seasonal accounts, it happened there. And page 7, right at the bottom, near the bottom, without breaching, conduct without breaching. I think those are the only ones I saw.
Yeah, there's something when we transfer it over to
Mhm.
eScribe, but when
Mhm.
we print it out here, it's fine. So, but yeah, we'll get those
Oh,
fixed.
that's weird.
It is weird.
Yeah, because you do see it. It seems like quite often you'll
Mhm.
see it when we're, yeah, okay. So we're good with that then? No
Mhm.
other questions? Okay, so we can say moved by Sally, seconded by Steve, be it resolved that the Corporate Services Committee recommends the council adopt the social media policy as presented. All in favor? Okay,
Hi,
it's carried. Okay, and then Katie, for 7.2, there was something to do with the theater RFP, and there was nothing in the
So I
notes or
I
anything.
wanted to provide you with an update on that. It has closed and we have not received any bidders. So we're
Oh.
putting it back out to see if we are able to. And we'll bring it back to the next meeting. If we have not received anyone, council will have to determine what they want as their next steps with a recommendation from this committee.
Okay, so then 7.3, the municipal lands inventory progress. I'll pass it over to you as well, Katie.
This is just an update on where we're at. We haven't been selling a ton lately, but we do have one that is coming back to us, and we're purchasing it back at the 80% that they originally purchased for, as per the agreements that we have.
Okay,
Yeah, because their intents have changed. They won't be building. They're actually moving out of province, so we will take the property back. The intent
okay,
with selling these lots was not to provide, undue or giving somebody an edge up on maybe turning around and selling it for 5 times the value that they
Right.
purchased it at.
right, exactly. Go ahead, Stephen.
Thank you, Chair Summers. Just Katie, just a quick question on that one. The without knowing the details, is that a service lot that's coming back to us?
It is.
Okay, it should sell then fairly quickly, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have moved by Sally, second by Steve, be it resolved that the Corporate Services Committee recommends that council authorize the CAO clerk to engage in the rezoning process for the property. Am I on the right one? Yeah. For the property described as lot 87-90, plan 180, Cobden Blind River, also known as Talbot's Park.
So that
Are we good with this?
this is a rezoning of Talbot's Park as per the TELUC agreement.
Right. And we
So-
talked about this before about having the properties zoned to what they could be before selling. So then to make things easier, right? So
for
we're
the
just trying to
potential
keep in
development,
with.
yes.
Mhm. Anything else? Anybody else? Anything?
No, I was just curious, is this a service lot?
Yes, it's
Pardon?
it's Talbot's Park. It's
Yep.
yeah, it's serviced. Their
Okay.
their service is running through.
Right,
by
so
the
it would be
property.
easy to hook up to sewer and water.
Yes.
Okay. So all in favor? We're good with that? Mhm, okay. And then 7.4, the building statistics year to date. And was there any questions on that information? Stephen?
Thank you. It's a new format for that report.
Mhm.
I was trying to figure out the totals and the numbers. Could you maybe walk us through that, Katie or Sue?
Let me pull it up here. So year to date. So as you can see, we're moving up as we move into April, our permits
Mhm.
are ratcheting up.
Mhm.
And the permit fees total year to date. So the value is different, right? So the building permit value is 583,000, but the actual building permits are at 6,863.
So when we're looking at this, Katie, it's got permit fee, permit year to date, and then
Yeah.
total value year to date. So the total value is dollars in what? Is that what the property would be worth, or what is that total value?
So the total value would be what the total, yeah. So if someone's building a house and it's valued at like their building permit would come in and it would
Okay,
say that the value of the property or the build is 300,000, but the permit is
Okay.
actually only
Mhm.
is substantially less, but that would be potentially what's added to our tax roll. But again,
Right.
just because the building permit indicates that it would still be assessed by impact and the value could be
Right.
substantially higher.
So like on, for February, the total value is only $500. So that must be some small thing that they're doing. It says commercial, but maybe it's something that they're just adding to or something.
Could just be, yeah, it could, I don't have the permit in front of me, but it could just be, maybe they're putting a deck on, or maybe they're adding a new
Right.
washroom or something small.
Okay, yeah. Because the other two, like you can see, they're quite a bit,
Yes.
405,000 and then 55,000
Mhm.
almost.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see that, but I just, yeah. So one is actually the permit and then the other is the actual total value of the, whatever work they're doing then.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That
That-
helps me.
Yeah, okay. And then I see you have a single family dwelling, so that speaks for itself, and then other dwellings year to date, commercial year to date. So yeah, it looks pretty good. So would that be like fairly average, the number of permits that we would have for like this time of year?
I'd have to go back. I think that we had slightly more prior to COVID. And then with
Okay.
COVID, we had, kind of a plateau, and then there is still some supply demands. So some people
Right.
are still waiting, and then of course the price to build as well.
Yeah.
But I can certainly for the next meeting give you where we were in the column, like where we were last year at this time, if that
Okay.
helps.
Okay. I'd just be curious to know how it fits in. Okay, so that was just for information, correct?
Correct.
No other questions then? We're good? 7.5 preliminary results from the treasurer. I'll pass it over to you, Sue.
Yeah, so this is, like I said, this is preliminary. We are still working through the final audit. And there may still be some further adjusting entries. So right now, we're looking at still about $620,000 surplus to allocate, but we will deal with that once the audit is done and that final number is confirmed. Yeah, is there any questions about anything specifically there?
No. Any? Stephen or Sally, you're good?
No, I have no questions.
I'm
Okay.
fine too.
I think we're good. Okay, so then 7.6, the COVID funding allocations. We do have a couple of things here, so I'll let Sue take that as well.
Yeah, so similar to what we did for 2020 with our COVID funding, we are looking to allocate some of the funding that we got to cover additional expenses related to COVID and also the continued revenue shortfalls that we saw in 2021 because of COVID. So it would still leave us at the end of all of these transfers, $88,620 in our COVID reserve. For
Mhm.
anything that might come from 2022.
So now those funds, are those for ours to keep, or if at the end if there's stuff left over, do we have to send it back?
There's been no indication that we need to send any of it back. That's why it's actually set up in a reserve and not a deferred revenue account, because there is no, at this point anyway, they've indicated this is our money. We can do with it what we want, but it has to be COVID related. So.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Okay, so we have moved by Stephen, seconded by Sally. Be resolved that Corporate Services Committee recommend to Council that $13,822.57 be transferred from the Safe Restart Reserve to cover 2021 COVID related expenses and revenue shortfalls. All in favor? I should have my
Aye.
glasses on because okay. And then 7.7, we have required interest allocations. It's the same thing.
Yeah, so these
We'll start-
these are the funds from the province that basically we're holding in trust until we spend them, and the agreements for the OCIF formula fund, the federal gas tax, now the Canada Community Building Fund, and the provincial gas tax. Those agreements all stipulate that we must allocate interest on the funds that we're still
Right.
holding. So
Right. So we have moved by Sally, seconded by Stephen. Be resolved that the Corporate Services Committee recommends to Council that the following interest amounts be allocated to the obligatory reserve funds from 2021. OSIF 3,493.88, CCBF 2,435.51, and provincial gas tax 395.15. All in favor? We're good?
Yep.
Carried. All right, and then 7.8, the proposed year-end transfers. And this has to do with reserves as well, right, Sue?
yes, it does. So some of these are
Mhm.
per the surplus policy that council has passed that require
Right.
that the surplus for water, wastewater, winter control, fire be allocated to specific reserves. So some of those are in here. The cemetery interest allocation is also included in here. In the past, we have also allocated any landfill surplus back to the landfill expansion reserve. So that's in there. Also, we received some cannabis legalization funding in 2021 that we haven't spent, so we need to transfer that into that reserve. We're also looking to for the sale and scrap of the 2 fire vehicles back to the fire truck reserve, the public works truck to the equipment reserve, all the normal things. And then there's all the projects that we didn't get completed in 2021 that we're transferring those funds into the prior year reserve to complete those projects in 2022. So this is the preliminary list. Like I said, there's still another $600,000 that we will allocate once the audit is complete, but these are the preliminary ones.
Okay. Yes, Stephen?
Thank you, Chair Summers. Sue, just off the top of your head, do you have a rough idea how much money is in the landfill reserve?
I can tell you exactly how much is in the landfill reserve. Give me 2 seconds. We're currently sitting at $839,000.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so then we have moved by Stephen, seconded by Sally, be it resolved that the Corporate Services Committee recommends the council approve the preliminary list of 2021 year-end transfers to the reserve. All in favor?
In
And
favor.
that's carried as well. Excuse me. 8 is correspondence. I believe there's none, and there's no addendum. So we are looking to adjourn. So I've moved by Sally, seconded by Stephen. Be it resolved that the Corporate Services Committee meeting adjourn at 10:51. All in favor?
In
And
favor.
that's carried. Okay, good.